Welcome again to the new parent user interface training. This will be for the beta clients itself. Okay, so for today's training, what we will be going through will be the new interface, or rather the new functions for the payroll process itself. Okay, so the first thing is, why use the new parent user interface? The main purpose is to transform the parent process into a more fluid and user-friendly experience, more like editing data in Excel, where you can just release payslips once your data is accurately updated. So rather than thinking of it as a process itself, it'll be more fluid, updating your data and then releasing payslip once that's done. It will also be updated with real-time updates to statutory components, meaning like your CPF rates will be automatically updated once your data itself is updated in the system. This new parent user interface also includes a parent approval layer. So if you need an additional layer of approval, this would be the main reason or one of the main benefits of using the new parent user interface. So how does it look like? When you first use the new parent user interface, you will come to the overview page where you'll be able to see a summary of everything on the same page itself. Here, you'll be able to see that you can now filter by parent or by employees as well. So previously, you wouldn't be able to filter by employees, but now we will be able to. On the bottom of the page, you can also see that there's a parent approval. So if you do need an additional layer of approval, you will see the new section where you can do any additional approvals, and the history of what was done will be listed at the bottom. The release payslip will also be available on the summary page. The new parent journey will consist in 3 parts. The first step will be to select your employees. So this selection page includes new filter options where you can now filter by departments or maybe by resigned or active employees. So this will make it a lot easier compared to having to select one by one as we did previously. The second step will be to select your pay elements. This part is completely new. Previously, you will have to update all the information before processing your pay itself. Whereas for now, you will be able to update your pay elements while processing the pay itself. So here you can see you can update the pay elements, you can remove it, you can add any additional components before you review the pay run. The last step will be to review and submit for approval. So if you do need an additional layer of approval, then here you'll be able to send it for approval to the next step itself. So those will be the 3 main steps. Let's move on to the system itself to see how exactly this works. Okay, now onto the system itself. Currently, I'm logged in as one of my approvers where I will be able to both run the payroll and before I send it for approval, right? So the very first thing to do this new parent journey will be to go to your payroll module. All the other processes will be the same. So meaning you can go into your administration tab first, update all the information you need to before you run the payroll. When you're ready to run the payroll, you can go to your payroll process pay page. Okay, and on the process pay page, you'll see that you will now have this new blue area where you have the option to choose to run the new payroll function. Okay, so just to quickly run through how we did it before, here under the new parent, you'll be able to select which month you're running payroll for, the pay period, and then here you'll be able to select which employees you are running the payroll for. We have your payslip release, your payslip remarks, the payroll period, OT period if there's any, and then the payment date. Once you click proceed, it will go to your parent progress page itself, where you can see the parent that was done. So all the different parent methods. Here, it's only by the parent generation and not by employees. Right. The very last step will be the parent summary. So once it's processed, you'll be able to see the information listed here. All the records for the past pay runs done for that month itself will be listed here. Okay, so this was the old pay run journey. Now let's take a look at how the new one looks like. Okay, so going back to payroll, process pay, you can click on the I want to try it to change the user interface. We also have a FAQ page where you can just click on this. It will bring you to the user guide where you can go through the step-by-step with pictures. Okay, let's go ahead, click on the I want to try it button. So you'll be able to see the new interface, which looks like this. If you like to go back to the old interface, just click on go back. Okay. So for the new interface itself, the very first section will be the pay run portion. Here you'll be able to see that you can choose to click on the green button here to add pay run. So when you're ready to run the pay run, just click on this to process. You'll also see a summary of all those that has been done for the month of June, or you can just select the month here to check on the previous month. Okay. On the right-hand side, you will see a new filter option. So here you'll be able to process by pay run list or employee list. So this is new for the new pay run journey. Where if you click on the employee list, you'll be able to see by employees rather than the pay run itself. So here you will also be able to see the status. If you need to reject it or delete it, you can delete the records. You can take a look by clicking on the eye icon as well to see what exactly was processed for that particular pay run. On the next part, for the summary page, if you scroll down a little, you'll see the pay run approval history. So if you have the approvals enabled in your configuration, which I will show you shortly at the end of the session, if you do have it enabled, you'll be able to see a history of who has approved which pay runs here. Right. Again, you can filter it by the pay run list or by the employee list. You can filter it by the months as well. Okay. For the records itself, you'll be able to see all those that has been approved, the pay period, the number of employees that were approved for that particular pay run, and who exactly it was run by. There's the date, payment date, the total net payable for that particular pay run, and if the pay run, the payslip was released. So here you'll be able to see payslip status. If it's not released yet, it will show as pending, or if it's released, you can see as all released. Okay. If it's not released, you will be able to release it here as well. Or you can again take a look by clicking on the eye icon, and you'll be able to see the entire breakdown, generate the bank files, reports, PDF file, and if you need to, you'll be able to release it either now or at a later time. Okay, so now let's go ahead and process the pay. So the first thing you need to do will be to click on Add Pay Run. When you do click on Add Pay Run, the very first step, now you will be able to see we are under the Select Employee page. Here, you'll be able to select all the employees that you would like to run or rather process pay for. First thing will be to select the month. By default, it will be June or the current month. So of course, if you need to do a back pay run, you will be able to select the past months. Pay run period, you can select whether it's a monthly, fortnightly, or ad hoc. Employees, this is a new filter option. So here, if you need to process pay by departments, you will be able to select which departments you would like to process for. Okay, and then we have another filter option, which is new, and you can filter by active employees, new hires, or resignees. Okay. The section at the bottom shows you the entire employee list for your company. So here you can see employee details. Everyone has been selected by default. If you do choose to filter, for example, let's go ahead and do for operations department. Okay, let's click on the go. And then now you'll be able to see my employee list has been filtered down to just the operations team. Right. Once this is done, and you have selected the employees that you would like to run payroll for, just click on the next button to go to the next part, which is to select your pay elements. So here under the select pay elements, previously you will not be able to update the pay elements while processing pay, but now you will be able to. So here you can see all the employees that I have selected, which are the 4 under my operations team, and all the amount as well. If I were to click on any of the blue text, you'll be able to see that I can update the pay elements here itself. So if I do not want to include anything, I can just click on the delete icon to delete it. Okay. So you can add in as well. So for example, maybe for total deductions, if I would like to add in CDAC, I will be able to add it in here as well, rather than doing it under administration itself. Okay. So here you'll be able to update your pay elements. If there's any errors, this will still look like how it looked like before, which means you will still be able to see the fix error button. So just click on the button, update any information that you need to. Once you have updated it, save it, and then just click on the back button, which will bring you back to the same page. Okay. So if everything's okay, you can go ahead, click on the next button to process your pay. Okay, so if everything's okay, you'll see that my error message is no longer there. Click on the next button to go to the last part, which is to review your pay run. For the third step, review pay run, you'll be able to see the 3 employees that I'm now processing for, okay, and all the total amounts. Again, if you realize there's a mistake, not to worry, you can always reject it here as well. So for example, here I can see for my employee Natasha, I can delete it or I can reject it. Okay. Then we can go ahead and process for the 2 employees that seem okay. Okay, simply click on the review button to check on the information. Okay, so here you'll be able to see all the breakdown for this particular employees itself. If you need to reject it, you can click on the reject button here as well. Or if you go back, it'll be considered as reviewed. Let's go back. So now you can see this has now been reviewed. Okay, so same thing, if let's say this person is seems okay, you can just click on this option here and complete the review. So once that's done, you'll see this pop up, review has been completed. Do you want to send it for approval? All we have to do is click on the send for approval, which will then send it to the approver that I have set under my configuration page. Okay, so here you can see I have currently done this one here, okay, which is currently in progress. Okay, and that's all there is to the new pay run process itself. The next step will be for the approver to approve in the system. So let's go ahead and log out. For approvers, they will be notified via email. So the email that they will receive, 1 second. Will be this email here that I'm sharing. Okay, so they can just click on the login to approve button in this email itself, which will bring them directly to the page. Or of course, they can just log in into the system. In my case, I'll be using the super admin account to approve. So let me just log in into the super admin account. Then I'll go into the payroll, process pay page. Here, I can click on I want to try it to go into the new payroll interface. And you'll be able to see all those that are pending for approval here. Okay, so here I can see that this was what was done, still pending for approval. So I can just click on this to view what exactly is pending for approval. So here you can see these were the 2 that we just did a pay run for. I can click on the eye icon to view what exactly they are being paid for, the different pay components. Then I can approve or reject on this page itself, or I can go back and approve it on the main summary page as well. Okay, so I can just tick these options to select everyone and then click on the approve button. So now you can see the payroll has been completed and approved for the 2 employees that we just did. Okay, I can click on the back button to go back. So now you'll be able to see under pay run approval history, this should be now listed for the latest one that was done here, monthly. This was run by my employee Jen Pang, and it's still pending payslip to be released. So I can click on this to view. Okay, again, these are the 2 employees that we just did a pay run for. I can click on the 2 employees and I can choose to release the payslip now or at a later date. I can just specify which date, for example, maybe on 30th June. If I click on the release button, then on 30th June itself, the system should automatically trigger the email to the employees. Okay. So on this page, again, you will be able to see the total statutory fund. If you click on the blue words, you'll be able to see the breakdown itself. Okay, for reports itself, you'll be able to download it directly here. So you don't have to go into your file generation to generate it or to your reports to generate the payslip report. Okay, same thing for bank file and CPF file, you will be able to generate it here. So let's say if I do click on generate bank file, it will bring you directly to the page itself. This is actually a shortcut. If I were to go to file generation itself, it is the same thing. Yeah. Okay, and that will actually be the entire new PayRun user interface. Okay, very similar, but with new features added as well. So if I were to go back into my old interface, you will be able to see that all the records that were done now are still there. The very last thing would be if you do need approvers for your PayRun. This is only available for the new PayRun interface. So to enable that, go into your payroll configuration. Okay. Under the General tab, click on Configuration. Then right at the bottom, you will see a new section for approver setting. So this is where you can set the main approver for your payroll admin. Okay, which employee will be doing the final approval. Okay, then just click on Submit and you will be able to have the additional layer of approval. And that will be all for the new PayRun user interface.